Today we're going to be taking a look at 6 fundamental self-defense techniques everybody should know. So the first one we're going to take a look at is out of Chinese boxing, and it is called the whip hand. You can train this on an empty hand, or you can train this on a focus mitt. Basically what I want to be able to do is just whip the side of the hand or the focus mitt with the tips of the fingers. This is the same thing you want to do with the eye socket. I'm not smashing it, I'm just trying to whip the eye in order to create a reaction or to tear them up. So basically, when I'm practicing, I want to try to do it without a lot of telegraphing or moving from the body. And I can get my partner to help me out with that. If they see it, they'll tell me. So if they see the shoulder or the elbow move, they can let me know. I like to do this out of what we call in CTAC the address position, which is just the social exchange. They get a little close. I see the opportunity, I have to go. I can just show the whip hand. Another one I'll train is just out of the pocket or the hands on the hips. Or this can be done as well if you have set up a fighting measure already and you have to fire it in order to entry. So as we were saying, you want to get feedback from your partner on the whip hand. And one of the things they're looking for is you trying to eliminate the telegraph or movement from your body. So if I'm getting ready to fire the technique, the shoulder raises or the elbow goes out, my partner would tell me and I would try to eliminate those initial movements. And for me, a lot of times I'll just go off of a flinch in the hand and that will start the move, instead of trying to push it with the shoulder. That little flinch actually launches the technique for you. Like that. Number 2 is going to be the Thai elbow. There's several different ways that you could throw these elbows. This one is more of it's a horizontal elbow, and I'm bringing the hand down like this. So they're commonly trained on Thai pads, like that. So but generally there's going to be a loose motion with the shoulder when you practice this. Just don't injure your shoulder. It'll create more of a whipping motion. Once you've played that a few times and you're comfortable with it, another fantastic thing about the Thai pads is you can use them as a head as well. So previously we did the eye whip. You can practice it on this pad. The nice thing about the pad is I can catch it as the same way I would try to catch a head if I were to do the eye whip. So if I'm showing it on my partner, I would eye whip and then try to catch the head or the neck to bring them in or to help me enter for that mid-range to close-range weapon. So I'd show the eye whip, show the elbow. Okay, so anytime you're practicing this elbow, one of the things that gives it power is the unitary motion of your body. You're going to have weight in one foot or the other. And for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to place my weight into this foot. So in order to involve the body, I'm going to rotate the torso like this. If you can imagine a door on a hinge, this side's the hinge, and I'm closing the door of the body. One thing to notice is what I'm doing with my foot. We nickname this in Academy squashing the bug. This helps you rotate down the axis of one side of the body. What this does is unitarily get the whole body involved with the weapon system, giving you more power. Gets your whole body behind the motion. All right, this next one is borrowed from the Kizi fighting method out of Spain, and it is the KFM Ram Attack. We've talked about this in a couple of the previous videos. Basically what the Ram Attack is you're building a structure with your hands around your head. All right, so there's a double connection, the shoulder and the hands. You're reinforcing it to protect yourself, but you're also wanting to use this tool to attack. The nice thing about the Ram Attack is it is a way to suddenly deliver a lot of aggressive forward pressure against the threat. So we're demoing it on an old school shield. So to train it, a lot of times I'm going to enter and sink my body weight. And I just build the frame, if we look at it slowly, and just bump the pad with it to get used to it. Frame. Obviously, you can deliver a lot of force with it. So if I'm in a social interaction, I don't want any trouble. I see that it's about to elevate, a punch or something coming in, and I just go at that moment. All right, that's the KFM Ram Attack, or Pince Attack. So earlier we used the tie pads to take a look at the whip hand, the elbow, and the headbutt. You can practice the Pince Attack on these, but you have to bring the pressure down a little bit. They don't handle it as well. So you can cross the pads to play it. Just don't put this in front of your face. Or you can stack them. But again, your partner tones it down a little bit for the sake of training. So earlier we entered initially with the whip hand, then went for the elbow. The Ram Attack, I can just immediately go. I don't really wait on a fighting measure. The second I see that there's going to be an aggressive action, I just attack. Or you can plug it into the same series we did earlier. If the pad's up, and we'll demonstrate on one for the sake of the video, I show the whip hand first and enter behind that. So artillery before I show up. Again, after the Ram Attack, you could always attach to the head and revert back to some of the basic tools we've already taken a look at in the video. So I may whip hand, headbutt, elbow. The next technique we're going to take a look at is the Thai boxing kick, sometimes referred to as a Shin Kick. One of the reasons is because we're going to be striking the opponent with the shin bone. You can use different parts of the bone. I prefer the upper part of the shin between the knee and the mid shin. Now generally this is trained on the Thai pads in order to develop rotational power, unitary motion, be able to apply it in multiple combinations. But when you use it, generally you're firing higher than what I would use if I were to apply this in a self-defense situation. So a lot of times off the lead foot, that's generally the hold that they'll play. For me, my target area is going to be like right above the knee, or if it's a self-defense situation, on the knee. So the angle actually changes a little bit. Might look more like that. The nice thing about this kick is when you receive one, it'll feel like you're getting hit with a ball bat. Doesn't take a lot of power. What it takes is relaxation in the kicking leg. Very nice for self-defense because it's easily hidden on entry. And I like it, especially the lower one, because once we've made that contact from some of the previous techniques, we've entered in, we've got control of the head. If I'm in that range, I'm here, I can still manipulate and throw and use that weapon. This next one is going to be the Thai straight knee. Sometimes the hold for this, the pads will be stacked, one's facing forward, and you're working it out of a clinch or a plumb position. Usually I want to be able to loosen up the hip and drive straight in. Loosen the hip, drive straight in for training the knee. The looseness, and a lot of times we'll throw the leg back in order to create rotation of the hip for power. But in application, I'll just pick it up and aim it drive it forward. Straight in. Straight. Generally too, when I'm applying this in this series, I don't stay right in front of them. I'll step off to the side just a little bit. Step off the side, show the knee. Step off the side, show the knee. One of the reasons is because it distorts their posture. It pulls them out of balance. Once I have connection to the head with all of these tools, my goal is to distort their balance, pull them out of position. I want to make them struggle to stay upright as I'm delivering these techniques. Okay guys, if you like the content that you are seeing on the channel, please give us a like and subscribe and share us with your friends. It helps the channel grow. Also, if you have questions, a lot of the videos we're making is based on the questions that you give us. Please send them. Let us know what you'd like to see.